This Meditainment production is brought to you today by the Samurai Aquatics and Decor Metaventure. Scan that QR code or click that link in the description and dive yourself headfirst into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server to pleasure your peepers on our current and future range of outdoor decor.
Established in April 2021, Upland Development United is the oldest and most exclusive and transparent no development collaborative in the Upland Metaverse. Contact Morecheese at 68 for more information. Warning: this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind, and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Taking over the Upland Development United. Total meta domination.
Thank you for listening to or watching the UDU Podcast. This is year 3, number 104, presented by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment, Morecheese, and me, Ben68, featuring co-host Dak, Joe Lives the Agency, TB125, members from the Upland Development United team, and of course, general Upland community members. Today's show is recording live on either Tuesday the 6th or Wednesday the 7th of May, depending on where you're at. It's at this stage I'd normally say, how you doing this morning, Cheese? But she's AWOL. I guess she must have finally got some sleep. She's been burning the midnight hours, juggling a whole bunch of projects and doing a whole bunch of different stuff for Genesis Week. So who knows? She might wake up and jump in. She'd be sneaky like that. So this week we're going to catch up on the crypto and upland market news. Of course, we'll run through our co-host segments, and then we'll try and get up to speed with and discuss what's happening with Genesis Week. Whole bunch of stuff. So as we do, let's go and jump on into the breaking badly news and see what's happening in the cryptos. Now, I thought this was pretty interesting when I jumped on this morning. I hadn't had a look at it since I did the market for last week's show, and we're back down to the 1.1 trillion, so 4.2% drop. Bitcoin dominance has also dropped down just under just under 1%, so down to 46%. So it appears that people have been taking some money out, must be trying to get some of that cash to spend at Genesis Week. Have to wait and see. Yes, Bitcoin down 4.4%, Ethereum down 2%, Wax 11% down. Everything's down across the board, pretty much, except for the one we cover, Tron. So, when you see everything's red except for one, you go, ooh, what's happening there? So I jumped on over and did a bit of clickety-clacking. And we got a tweet here from Justin Sun, who's the CEO of Tron, and he has said that Tron has now expanded its reach by going live on the Ethereum blockchain by leveraging the BitTorrent bridge. So that is pretty cool. I'm a very long-term Tron user. I jumped on that when it first came on board, so that's cool to see that's still up, alive, and thriving. Other than that, 90-day averages still dropping slowly. 90-day average transaction volume down 2.8%, 2.4% drop on the trading volume. And unique active wallets has had almost a 1% boost up to 69,280. And we had 2,567 properties minted through the week. There is the data on the cities. It always looks a bit messy, but there's some interesting points here. San Francisco is down 10% on the UPX, but the USDs remain pretty flat. There's kind of a battle raging there. It's kind of an unseen battle going on with people selling UPX and then other people sell USD. It's a kind of pass the baton. People are pulling money out via the USD, but they're also pretty much almost doubling their money in. So you buy a property for $10 US and you can flip it pretty quick for 20,000 UPX. Pretty smart way to go about it. I don't know if Upland is ever going to try and do something about that. I don't know. I don't know how they would even attempt to try and do something about that, because we are just playing with the markets. But it'll be interesting to see. Manhattan, look at the USD price. Almost 10% jump on the USD out price, which is interesting. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of people pulling money out, But the flip side here is that people are trying to take advantage of that almost double your money situation. So people are actually buying up the USD floor to flip for UPEX. So that's kind of a reverse of what's happening in San Francisco, which is quite interesting. So that's becomes a lot more healthy for me to look at too, because as somebody who's buying the UPX price to sell for USD, well, Manhattan had kind of crept away from being really as good of an opportunity as some of the other cities. So, but now you look at that, buy it for $65,000, sell it for $38. That's definitely back in the raise your eyebrows figures. So I'll be gobbling up a few of those myself. Not much happening in the lower floors. Chicago flat at $3, Rio, all of those, Detroit stuck on $3. I always wonder, what do you think those prices would be if $3 wasn't the limit? How low could we go? Who knows? What do you reckon?
You got me feeling like we're doing the limbo. How low?
How low can we go? It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, it gets to the point. I know, as I've focused on USD yet for the last month or so, it gets to the point where it's just not worth your time and effort. So it would be interesting to see how it balanced out. I guess there's pros and cons to that being a fixed spot there, but it looks what's that? Rio's had a 16.5% drop on the UPX price. Was for just under 5,000 last week, flirting with 4,200 this week. So people selling out of there. I guess those kind of UPX drops aren't uncommon, as people try and get liquidity for Genesis week. But on the flip side, we've had Dallas 15.2% up on the UPX price, was just under 11,000 last week, flirting with 13,000 this week. So that's pretty healthy there too. If you're looking for a buy in UPX, sell for USD, buy for 13,000, sell for 745, that's pretty good. And what else is happening? Rutherford. Yeah, Rutherford's a weird one. Rutherford and London. Well, actually, look at the the USD price on London as well. It was $13 last week, up 17.8% to just under $16 this week. So that's definitely healthy. Buy for 25,000, sell for $16. Yeah, the only difference between the other markets, like the major USD out markets, are of course San Francisco, Manhattan, Santa Clara, Rutherford, and London. Santa Clara, Rutherford, they tend to sit there for days at the floor, where anything that gets posted on the floor in San Francisco gets gobbled up pretty much immediately, as there's a lot of people buying the USD to sell for UPX. London, it'd be interesting. I might have to play around with that one myself too. All right, I got some homework to do. Anybody else focusing on buying any properties within this bargain period? There's lots of collection properties on sale now, under mint collection properties. It's kind of crazy to see. Buying, selling, trading.
I'm determining whether to, play those markets or save up for Berlin.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I say I don't get caught by the FOMO dragon anymore, but I've been caught by the UPX sale price FOMO dragon. I think it was one night there I looked, and there was properties in San Francisco. There was 4 or 5 of them for down to 15,000. I gobbled up all those. So yeah, if you keep your eyes on, there's always bargains to be had. Same for in London. There's a whole bunch. I don't know whether they don't look at the market floor on UPX land or whatever, or because, if you look at the market floor and the floors, say the market floor in San Francisco is 20,000, and then you go and put it up for 14,000 or 15,000. I mean, that's quite a hefty jump. I mean, if you want an immediate sale, you're going to get it, but you're probably going to get the immediate sale even if you listed it at 19 or 18. So, don't know.
Yeah, I actually want to get back into that, doing stuff like that, just flipping properties, and as soon as I get settled and not moving around so much. But yeah, I like playing the markets, like arbitrage and stuff like that. I always had fun with cryptos and stuff doing that, and you kind of get to do it gamified with, all these different cities,
Yes.
So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I've only started playing with that myself for the last month or so. But if you are going to play that game, the USD app game, make sure you keep that all tracked, of course. Not financial advice, do your own research, but, there are tax implications when you start pulling out funds. So make sure you check your own requirements and don't get yourself wrecked. squirrel some away for a rainy day, as they say. All right, let's see where we're at. So that's what we got going on there. Normally I'd say over to you, Cheese. What's been happening in Upland this week? But I still don't think she's in. So I don't know. I might throw it to you, Shaq. You got your finger on the pulse. You're Upland Player of the Year nominee. Is there anything in particular that's been on your radar?
Oh, I don't know. There's so much going on that my head is just spinning.
Yeah.
And I've been super focused on my hackathon presentation. And I might have missed something, but there's just so much.
Yeah, it's almost the point of being overwhelming. I pulled up. We'll get into it later, but there's a few lists about of exactly what's going on, and you're like, geez, they're certainly going all out this year.
Yeah.
It'd be like a full-time job trying to keep up with and engaged in everything they've actually got going on.
Right. And I think you guys have been saying a long time that we're getting to for a year, you've been saying it's getting to the point where you can't do everything in Upland. And we are definitely there now.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely at that stage. And it's kind of, it's almost freeing in a way. It's like once you reach that point where you're of acceptance, it's like, you find some inner peace. So it's a weird feeling. And it's strange to see a city release and just think, well, yeah, maybe I'll go and get a few, and be totally okay with it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to
Definitely
chime
gotta
in?
pick a lane.
What's that, Jed?
I was saying definitely just got to pick a lane. It's definitely getting to that point where there's so much, but it's pretty cool how you can really specialize into something and then run with it. There's so many different things that you find your fancy and then just run with it and enjoy it and have fun with it. But if you don't keep your covers on or whatever they're called that horses use, definitely
blinkers.
Blinkers.
Blinders. Sorry.
Blinders. Yeah, something like that. I was going to say blinkers too.
Yeah.
But if you definitely don't keep those on, you can definitely get overwhelmed by everything that's going on. It's just a bunch of stuff, but it's cool to see. It's cool to see that there's more and more going, and it's just continually going. So it's always fun.
Yeah, ultimately, I think that's probably the core strength of the entire ecosystem is that you could do this almost as a full-time job and be busier than you can imagine, and you're not even actually in the app. It's kind of crazy. So, there's literally no end of stuff you could get yourself involved in. All right, I did get word from Cheese. She is on the way, so we'll hang out and see where she's at while we're waiting for Cheese.
I was hoping to hear your Boston accent impression of Cheese. If she didn't show up, I was going to ask for it, but
the Brooklyn, the Bronx. She's going to slap me for that. Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I don't have a very good American accent.
We'll wait for her to come with that cheese and charm that she has.
Yes. All right. While we're waiting for that, we might throw it over to TB125, who is back live in his little studio there. How you going this morning, TB?
I am doing all right. Thank you very much.
Right.
Getting prepped to move house, so I have an empty house around me. Luckily, I'll be swinging by Las Vegas on the way to moving house, so I will see some of you guys in a few days, which is going to be fun, I suspect. Not least because my favorite hockey team will also be in the Stanley Cup finals during that week.
Nice.
Anywho, I guess you want to talk about legits and stuff. It probably won't surprise you to hear that it's been fairly quiet on that front. I think a lot of people this week are just reserving any cash and upicks they have to wait for what inevitably gets launched during Genesis week. So there's not been much going on. The FIFA soccer stores and the Meta Ventures surrounding all of the NFLPA legits have both seen sort of what I would say modest trades, sort of between 100 and 300 trades a day, which is a bit more than I was expecting, to be honest, because there's not been a ton going on with either of those. And I've got a couple of people trying to get hold of some of the rare ones that I've got off me at the moment. I can't quite figure out why they're so excited about them, but hey, Cheese.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Cheese.
I slept in a bit. Well, I didn't sleep in this late. I actually thought it was the same time as the wine and cheese, 12:30. So I went and had a kitty cat picnic, but yeah.
Don't be doing that for happy hour on Thursday.
I would love it.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so the football stuff has been going all right. A few things moving through the stores there. Block Explorers are way down. There's been maybe a handful at best of trades each day over the last week or so, and the same with the outdoor decor. Sorry, map assets so far as I can see. So it's been pretty quiet. I think just listening to some of that fireside chat stuff, it sounds like they're starting to bring in more sort of automation for both the Meta Ventures and the player constructed items. So I think that'll really help things once that becomes a bit more stable. And I'm sure we'll hear more announcements about this week what's going on with that. So all in all, a quiet week in the world of legits, but I'm hoping it's gonna get interesting one way or another this week with some announcements. I am as clueless as everybody else as to what those announcements might be and which of the legits is the one to shoot for us.
Yes, it's that scary U word, isn't it? Utility that everyone's baying for.
Yes.
Did you watch the fireside chat?
I watched it up until I jumped on this call. There was a lot about the cafes coming in, and they were talking about the Meta Venture automation process using the city halls to apply that kind of thing, and how that's streamlined the process. I think they said they'd had about 400 approved last week, something like that, which is pretty good.
That's crazy, isn't it? That number.
Right, it is.
Yeah, I think they said about 400 approved and about 60 are already launched. So that's definitely a big increase compared to what we've seen before. I don't know where they all are, but the fact that they're getting through the list has to be a good thing.
How's this going to be manageable, like at scale? Like when you see all the dots across the map, it's going to look like one of those virus games.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. I have to assume there's going to be more of a filtering system brought in for the map at some point where you can check which ones you're interested in, which ones you're not. Otherwise, as you say, it's going to get a little bit chaotic, to say the least.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else happening in the world of soccer? What's Goldie's mentioned? FIFA ladies are on the way. That's going to bump things up.
Yeah, I'm hoping we might hear something about that this week, especially with the various the World Cup stuff coming up later in the year, and the fact that people have been enticed to try and create some utility for that stuff. So hopefully something will come out on Thursday, Friday about the Women's World Cup, and that will give things a boost. I'd love to see somehow that combined with the existing FIFA World Cup stuff to reinvigorate collections and things like that. Whether that will be combined or whether it will just be a whole new collection set and a sort of a rerun of the last World Cup setup, I'm not quite sure, but it'll be interesting to see what they've got to throw in for that one. I hope there's something a little bit more long term, which will sort of drive continued interest in the stuff rather than just sort of one and done with each event. But we shall see.
Yes, Goldie said in chat that some people have speculated that there will be crossover between the men's and women's FIFA World Cup sort of stuff. So hopefully that is the case. You can imagine there could be like cross collections and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it would be really good if they do that.
Maybe Shaq, did you want to speak to that now, seeing as though it's on topic?
Oh, sure.
Throw you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm going to be giving a presentation on Friday for ladies meta soccer to bring gamification and utility to our FIFA legits, both men's and women's, just all legits. You use them to wager in in actual soccer matches that you play. It's a little game and it's really fun. So
Nice.
I'll be talking about that.
You're going to be busy.
Sounds
All the
awesome.
stuff you got going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Are y'all going to be using your own game, or will y'all be using that soccer game they already have?
No, we created a game called Ladies Meta Soccer. You connect it with Upland as a third-party app, and you wager a legit. It's held in escrow, and the winner takes all. And it's
Nice.
fun, quick, intuitive, easy, just sort of addictive.
All right. My
So-
kind of game.
All right.
That sounds
And
awesome.
sorry, what was that?
I was say that sounds awesome. Looking
Yes,
forward to hearing more about that.
And I was
All
just
right.
going to pick your brain too, TB, before you get out of here. Have you seen any movement on the car sales front? I know I did some S1R racing last night, and that's my 2022 S1R, and the 2023s were just kicking my ass repeatedly. So
Yeah, Joe, I'm surprised. I had one sale yesterday of somebody who was buying it specifically to race, but the cars have not been selling much at all recently. I'm in a chat with a few of the other showroom owners, and it's been kind of the same across the board. There's just been not much movement. I think the real thing that's killing it at the moment is the fact that players can't list their own cars. And so the only way you can have a car listed in the Meta Venture at the moment is if you own it. And not everyone is willing, understandably, to transfer ownership to somebody else in order to sell it on their behalf. So I think that's still a bit of a sticking point on the car sales thing. I think we'd see a lot more otherwise. There's definitely some like USD sales and things going on from people. I've bought a few this week just of people who are desperately trying to get rid of them. And I was like, okay, well, if you're going to sell me a car for $30, then fine, I'll take it. Kind of doing with cars what you do with the properties in terms of the UPX versus USD sales. So it's interesting to see like how cars are going, but I think the problem at the moment is that the market is now kind of flooded with them, and there's still not really a ton of utility. I've hedged my bets a little bit and taken a bunch of mine off sale this week because I'm really hoping that they make a big announcement about cars in this. And if that happens, I wouldn't be surprised to see them start flying off the shelves. But I also have not been given any indication that that might be the case. So I'm purely hopeful speculation rather than anything else.
well, that's a good piece of advice, whether it be properties or anything, that Upland could release any sort of information during Genesis Week that completely changes the ball game, whether it be in, like I said, properties, legits, block explorers, anything like that. So yeah, maybe take a moment to check through what you've got up and about for sale around the place. Yes.
Yeah, definitely something to be said for that.
All right. And if people want to get more involved in what you've got going on, what's the best place? How could they do that?
Well, first of all, I would get over to Las Vegas, and then I would either head over to Fremont Fanatics if you're interested in some football stuff, or to my car showroom on Fremont Street, which will be just a stone's throw away from where all the events are happening for real next week, or this week, I should say. I have plenty of MetaVenture stuff going on down there, and I will be more than happy to cut you a deal on anything that you find for sale. Feel free to drop me a message.
Very good. And so, yes, make sure, of course, for you, make sure you get hold of Cheese and get yourself some swag nice and early if you can. And
There's
speaking
gonna
of
be
Cheese,
games. Oh my God. I got this new game for this week, and it's gonna be so much fun. It is cheese. Oh my God, my cats are fighting. It's cheese related.
nice. Well, we missed you at the front of the show. I speculated that you might have been finally catching up on some sleep. What's been going on? All good?
Oh, good. Oh, good. I didn't actually sleep the whole time. I thought it was the wine and cheese time, 12:30. Oh my God. So I got up at 10:30 and I'm like, I have 2 hours. So, I just go make some food, play with the cats. I have a whole bunch of stray cats outside that I play with. It's crazy.
So you feel prepared? You packed, ready to go?
I started packing a couple days ago. What I do is I have a list upon a list upon a list. And what I do is
Gosh,
I'll
look at
have
that. Typed up, printed out. Oh,
printed out. Oh, and there's whiteboards involved. So I write it down, I put it on the bed, and then once I put it into the luggage, I cross it off here, and then I write it on the whiteboard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, we got Dak in the house this week. How you going, Dak?
Good, I'm good. Sorry, I've been missing a couple of shows here and there. It's been crazy moving and all that.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah. But I'm here today and it's exciting. Genesis week. Woo woo. See, I got the woo woo. Anyway, that is kind of the news. We have our last race coming up with the URL first, what we call our preseason, our test season. So it was our first season. We only did 6 races. We only had 10 racers. And what was fun was the drivers were continuously involved. I really want to thank all the drivers for participating. We had drivers around the world. Everyone was in different time zones. We were able to get the time together and we've raced on a consistent basis. It was great. Good money has been won by these drivers. And I do have an announcement. I did let the drivers know yesterday, so I can announce it today, that Upland has agreed to provide a prize for this season's champion.
Wow, that's
at Genesis. So at Genesis, we will actually be giving, not only will we be crowning our champion, but Upland will be giving a prize to that champion during Genesis. So that's pretty awesome.
That's cool. Yeah.
That is, yeah, that's very
Yep.
epic.
Super awesome.
And yeah, and then talking about Genesis, the Real Note LA has been kind of our simulcast sponsor. They've been doing their show on Spatial Theater, on their Spatial IO, and it's been a lot of fun having Elijah and Blue Rain and everyone involved, kind of helping promote it, and also just adding additional functionality and that cross communicate, community kind of communication and engagement, which I love. And what we're doing is, because the Real Note LA actually has an exhibit booth at Genesis Week, we will be simulcasting from their booth in Vegas, and we want people to stop by. We're going to have the ninjas, the Hyde Park Ninjas there. They're going to be racing and they're going to be there. There's a few other drivers that are going to be around. And so we want people to come by, meet some of the drivers, hang out, maybe give a shout out. We want our sponsors. So Morecheese, I'm hoping that you're able to come by and, represent. So it's, I'm excited about it. I have no idea what we're going to do in terms of the show and everything, because it is at 11:30 a.m. and I know that their Upland also has their stuff going on. So we'll see what happens. But we are going to do our race at 11:30 a.m. local time to Vegas, which is 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. UTC, and that's going to be the final race. I have something to share, Ben. You always tell me you have something to share.
No worries.
So I'm going to share, I think I'm sharing. So after 5 races, Sergeant Loco, who is an independent driver, not part of a race team or anything, but he's representing Locos Depots and Latinos Unidos. He has a comfortable 5-point lead on the leaderboard. MMV Motorsports, Risey, Mass Chef from Castle Elite, and SE Kicker from Ninja Racing are close on his heels with 31 points, bringing up, tied for 2nd place. Then we have Matsuda and Uplord, both from MMV Motorsports. They're bringing up the kind of like the second half of that group. These are their top 6 that actually have a chance at your championship. So Up the Dale, Uleman, and Pasta and KO Ninja won't be able to catch up for the championship. But you can tell that, up until the 5th race, it was still pretty close as to who was going to take the championship. It's been really interesting learning a lot about the process, how to schedule the events, how to stream them on Twitch, how to create the whole spatial experience. So a lot of lessons learned. Hopefully it gets better and better. And we're looking forward to announcing our first season, not our test season. And that one we expect it's going to be a longer season, more drivers. And now with S1s, both from 2022 and 2023, there should be more of a opportunity for people to race. Right now, we are still sticking with S1Rs, but as soon as damage is announced for racing, if we hear anything about that during Genesis, we might switch to S1Es, because I think people will be more willing to run their S1Es than they are their S1Rs.
Yep.
So that's where we're at. Again, we've had a lot of community support. We've had the sponsors really kind of engaging and everything. And so it's been a lot of fun. I love that Samurai Aquatics kind of got a twofer, because we ended up having to do it 5th race in over a 2-week period, since we had technical difficulties the first run. So you guys got 2 weeks out of it. Yay.
Nice. Jeez.
That's about it. I don't know if there's any questions. I put it in chat. Someone shared with me that for a little bit of time, there was information about transportation and transportation specs on the Upland website, and then it was taken down quickly.
Yeah.
But for people who missed it, knowing that those transportation specs are starting to be defined and are near to being released, that means, from my perspective, that folks that have been trying to buy those cargo vans, the semi trucks and so forth, you might be seeing that functionality sooner rather than later. And so for TB and everyone else who has the MV Motor showrooms, I think those cargo vans and those semi trucks are going to start flying off your shelves soon.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, for the last, I don't know, probably a couple of months, I've been saying, move all your stuff now before the transportation mechanics kick in. But I just completely burnt myself out moving decor, moving crates. And now I can't wait for the transportation mechanic to kick in. I'm ready and willing to automate this system and pay for it, because it's excruciating.
And I think that's, everybody's like, oh, well, people really use transportation. I mean, we knew for racing, especially once like the mileage kicks in and so forth, no one is going to want to add miles or put potential damage on their race cars. So we knew that semi trucks would be moving race cars like that. That's something people would want. But others were like, well, will cargo vans really be any value? Semi trucks, do we really, are we really going to fill a semi truck with stuff? As much decor items and as many more decor items map assets as they're going to be coming into the game. No one is going to want to, just like you said, move one little piece and then you got to place it, and it's a pain in the. And so, yeah, I really do see transportation and moving companies being a thing.
Yes, Cheese just hopes the transportation will not be as tedious. Yes, good point. That would be ouch.
Well,
how about
but they'll be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. How about the Speedway Metaventures? Has there been any news or movement on that front? Do you know if anybody's been approved? Is there any of that starting to kick off?
Yeah, so Buleman actually has a link that he put up on the URL website, on the URL Discord, tracking the different MV motor speedways. There is one that is under development right now. And it was, if you give me 5 minutes, I can find who it was. But yeah, so there is one that is actually being developed at this point. So someone was approved. All I've heard about is everyone saying that they were not approved, and usually it's for like minor technicalities.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you think about the number of submissions that Upland probably got, anything that deviated from their structure was just an easy no.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, for example, someone's GeoJSON file was corrupted. No. Someone forgot to demolish a property on their starting property. No. Someone, I forgot, didn't have 4 properties listed. No. Right. I haven't heard anyone get denied for 90-degree turns, which has been a big question mark around the race, the submissions, because they had that at one point, no 90-degree turns kind of thing. but I haven't heard of anyone being denied because of 90 degrees.
Well,
which
they
would
can't
be-
because X1 told me in chat that they will fix that up on the back end themselves. So if,
Right,
if
and
they
I- and
if
I-
they do that, they're digging a massive hole for themselves.
Well, it makes it very difficult because there's not many places where you can make a left or right without a 90-degree turn. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't really do 120-degree turns on city blocks.
Yeah, they wanted it softened, like one of those races I did last night. My gosh, it was janky watching the car go around. But yeah, you got to
Yeah, the
soften the
Hollywood
turn.
Hills.
Yeah, instead of
Yeah.
putting 1 point for the 90-degree turn, well, you should have 3 or 4 points just to soften
Exactly.
the curve a bit. But they didn't release that information until, several hours after the submissions were open. So
Yeah, and so I think that's exactly right. Like instead of just doing a quick turn, just adding the points for the turn so that
Yep.
it takes. And I've been racing the Hollywood Hills trying to get, I have my S1, so I was excited and I'm doing it and racing it. And yeah, it was painful to watch it come to a stop and then start again. It's like, oh.
Yes, especially when I
So-
was getting smoked by a 2023 S1R. So the handling
Well,
on those must be epic, is it? Is that what the difference is? Or the
I
acceleration?
believe that
or
they had lower speed rating, but higher handling.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah. Very
So
good.
yeah, and then the go-karts. I know people are excited for the go-karts. We've seen the Genesis Suite go-karts. They're looking pretty cool, but I think people are also excited about being able to submit their own go-karts. I know Matt Chef and we've been waiting for this moment for quite a while, so we're excited about it and what it could lead to. So we're definitely in it.
Very good. All right, now Cheese, you've got something going. Oh, sorry, I should say too, Dak. Is there anything in particular people should be on the lookout for you once they're at Genesis Week? We know you've got the the race going on that, this, that, and the other thing. Is there any particular area you're going to be at the Real Node LA booth? I believe you said.
Yes. So on Friday, June 9th, between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., I will be at the Real Node LA booth. And we will be simulcasting from the Real Node LA booth from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
Very good. All right. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for the DAC man as well. All right. Thank you for that, mate. Cheese, what's going on? What do you got here?
So Shaq brought to my attention that they have a bit of a dress code now for Genesis Week. We're excited to announce the Genesis Week 2023 wearable sale. During this sale, you'll have the opportunity to purchase a Genesis Week grunge outfit wearable for your 3D avatar. This wearable is designed to match the attire that the Upland team and fellow Uplanders will wear in person at Superfest 23. Registration for the sale, I didn't get this memo. I bought so many cute little outfits and I didn't get this memo.
Yeah.
This just came out.
I didn't do grunge when it was out originally. I'm not going to do it now.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a
I
grunge
did.
head. I was, yeah.
I
me
did.
too.
I was
High
not
five.
grunge.
High five.
Yeah, it's just gone live very recently, I believe, because it was the last link I pulled up. So yes, it's nice to see the quantity on these is at least half decent. 2,000 available for 5,000 UPX. So that's quite reasonable. Registration
Smells like Teen
opens.
Spirit, bruh.
Yeah. Registration opens now, I believe, and closes tomorrow. And sale starts at MoFo AM Australian time. Yes. So yeah, before we kicked off the show, Rob and I were speculating and about bands and this, that, and the other thing. So yeah. I don't know, Cheese. So what? You going to swap your outfit? You're going to get grungy, or is it you've gone past that point?
Yeah, it's too late now. I mean, we drive in tomorrow morning and there's no way I'm going shopping today. I mean, I have some grunge stuff, but we'll see what I can create. Shaq showed me a little sneaky peeky of what she's going to be wearing, and it's bow chicka wow wow. It's hot as fuck.
All right. Well, that's something to look out for then too, I suppose. Where we at? We might be
tux.
a tux. Whoa.
Oh no.
Nice.
You're gonna be like the old guy from Porn Stars.
Whoa.
Wetting up a storm.
There she goes again with her porn. I don't understand.
Pawn. The
Oh,
old man.
there you go.
He always wore a suit to work. Always wore a suit. They would make fun of him. Why you wearing a suit?
The old
But he
man.
wore the
The old
gangster. He wore the gangster suit, not
Yeah.
the tux.
He's
Tux are clean though. Your 3-piece suit showing up. I mean, people don't like a 3-piece. I like a 3-piece though.
It's gonna be hot though. It's gonna be
It's
like
super
not. It's
hot.
gonna be hot looking but it's gonna be just hot physically. So
absolutely. All right. Well, we might throw it over to you, Rob, if you're good to go. We've missed you the last few weeks.
Yes, thank you. It's good to see everybody. Personal life got me missing. So anyway, the first drop I'd like to mention is a nice one. It happens to be today, 11 a.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, we
You
forgot
don't
the
do
main
drop
part.
it like it's hot?
Come on.
Oh,
He's out of practice,
No.
see?
I am.
Damn.
Welcome to episode number 32 of
Tap it like it's hot. Tap it like it's hot.
Anyway, thank you, Dak. Appreciate it. I'm a rookie biatch. Anyway, this is the first drop. You got it pulled up. Thank you. It's the Adventureland Funko, which is awesome. You can collect all your faves like BMO, Jake, Finn, and to be honest, I didn't actually watch this show, but a lot of my friends did.
I
And
did,
so I know
yeah.
so I know it's worth a damn.
Yep.
So anyway, the grail of this drop is Finn the Human with $9.99 available. The legendaries of the drop are and have 1,600. They're gold, Lady Raincorn, Peppermint Butler, and Randy Butternubs. I like those names because they're not hard to say. The royalty, which has $2,300, is Freddy Funko and Jake the Dog costume. I do know Jake the Dog. So try to maybe, if you like this show, swim up on the secondary market there. The next one is on the Atomic Hub Launchpad. And that is Metacarbon Red Panda Adventures. Have anyone heard of that?
No, I haven't. Although, is
This
this
is-
an old thing? I feel like Cheese and I might have talked about this way back in the day, or something. Maybe I'm
They
getting
might have been.
my wires crossed.
Yeah, they might have been. I don't know how old they are, but they have a drop, and that's happening today at 10 PST. So that's happening now. But this is kind of unique. The project is kind of cute, obviously, but you will embark on a vital mission to combat climate change with Rusty the Red Panda. Collect NFTs of Rusty perched in his cherished habitat, which is lush trees. And as a holder, not only do you save the world in endangered habitats, but you also reduce harmful CO2 emissions that are accelerating global warming. I know that's a controversial subject and all, but unite for a greener planet with Red Panda Adventures. And how they do this is 65% of the proceeds will go to carbon offset projects, ensuring that the contribution has direct positive impact on the environment. So for every $5 NFT purchase, which is called the Rusty the Red Panda Tree Alley, 117 kilograms of CO2 is offset, and that's the equivalent of saving around 2 ancient trees. So that's how it goes. So the 10 NFT purchase will do about 5 ancient trees. The $20 purchase will do about 10 ancient trees. So that's kind of cool that it is helping. So, you know, at least you know your money might be going to something worth a darn, you know. So that's it for that. But Wednesday at 1630 UTC or 830 PT, there's a project that I don't think we've talked about, and this one's kind of cool, and I think you might like it. Jumby Art, which is a world-renowned visionary artist who has established the color-changing art movement known as spectral art, where the artwork animations in the presence of color changing lighting. So it changes and moves, you know, like one of those cars you see, kind of like the iridescent cars.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, they're cool. The paint
So,
changes.
yeah.
Or like the old hypercolor shirts.
Exactly.
Way back
Those
in
are
the
cool.
day.
And so they have merch and stuff as well. So a little bit about them, or a little bit more about this is with over 10 years of service to the art community, he has proven his design and color theory unparalleled. And so that is their mission, and they have a lot of cool clothing, like I said, so that might be worth checking out. And they are releasing their melty face packs, which you did have the packs pulled up, so that would be where you could get them, and nifty blocks. So if you, I was going to say, never mind, I'm going to cross that out. I don't need drug references.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
But anyway, so if you're into iridescence or psychedelics, this one's for you. Anyway, I think their merch is really cool though, and so I thought I'd write about that. So thank you guys, and this will wrap up today's episode of
Drop it like it's hot.
He's too busy scribbling all over the screen.
Thank you guys.
You just discovered a new toy cheese, have you?
Yes, I did.
Seen that go very badly in a few podcasts that do it on Zoom, and
yeah, no, I saw that before too. There's no way I'm gonna draw like boobs and penises and butts. Yeah.
Don't give an artist a pen.
Good point. All right, now we're going to flip the switch here a little bit. Normally at this point we dive into some main topics, but we're going to jump over that and go to the quips. Now, if you don't know what quips are, quips stands for questions, insights, provocations, and statements. If at any stage you have some Upland or UDU related quips that we can dive into on the UDU podcast, let us know via the Google form link in the description, and put your name in there and we'll give you a prize as well. Now, we did have a quips come through. We had a bunch come through, actually, but this one is pertinent because it is Genesis Week kicking off. It was submitted anonymously, so no prize for whoever submitted this one. But yeah, thank you for everyone who submitted those. This anonymous one that has come through is a kind of it's a statement and then a question. Anonymous has said, I think Genesis Week and the hackathon bring improved value to Upland each year. And then the question, agree or disagree. It's two things to dive into there is Genesis Week on its own and then the hackathon on its own as well. Anyone want to dive into that?
I'll take a stab.
Go, Jed.
All right. I think it's a great thing. I mean, for me, I signed up just, I have something that I want to do, but definitely wasn't prepared. But it inspires, it gets oils that machine where you can start thinking and dreaming, and it really lets you like open up your just imagination on what you would like to see in the game, and then how, I know it has certain confines with some of them, but I think there was one of the tracks where it's pretty much anything you wanted to bring, you could submit to.
Yep.
But I mean, anything that engages the community and then also gives you quite a, hefty little reward for, your contribution and as a team, I think that's good. It gets people working together, and with the talent pool that there is in this community, I think those type of events just really showcase what this community can do. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how you define value. Like, as you mentioned there, that the value in regards to community engagement, there's no denying that it has a massive impact on that. We, at the start of the show, we looked at how that's kind of affected the markets. There's always movements there as people, look to get liquidity and take advantage of collections and this, that, and the other thing. What about as far as the hackathon? We know that has the potential to bring a lot of value, but did we see anything major come out of last year's hackathon?
I would say that even if we didn't see something come out of last year's hackathon, you have to start somewhere, and it takes a while for people to wrap their head around it. And each year I would expect that the possibilities and the creations get more and more advanced, and it's absolutely the right place for them to be going, in my opinion. And this year's going to be better than last year, and this year's things will be implemented. I guarantee it. They've structured it differently, so we learn every year and we get better each year. So who knows? It's going to probably be super awesome. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. And
Yeah, I'll add.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Crypto. Finish off your statements.
I was just gonna say, I know we got the awesome UCC in here, but did Mossy Jake win last year with the UPX thing?
no.
No,
Who won
No.
last year?
from Grindel.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay,
the
yeah.
Uplandia thing, is it? No,
No.
the other one, Upland Kingdoms.
Kingdom.
Yeah,
Upland is
And-
noise.
Yes.
yeah, nice to meet you. And that's what I was going to say. I agree with both community engagement and the hackathon bringing value to Upland. A couple of things. One, Upland is trying really hard to kind of change its image from being a monopoly on blockchain trading game to being a platform and super app. You're not going to achieve that by having everyone keep playing the same game. And so you have to start bringing people in to really start using the platform, the APIs, developing for it. The other thing that's different from this year's hackathon than last year's hackathon is no one knew what they were doing last year. It was brand new. Everything was all over the place. There wasn't really good structure in place, like Shackman said. This year, there's a lot more structure. There was very specific kinds of ways to submit and what categories to submit under. And I got to tell you that from what I've seen, like I've been playing Uplandia and bought 10 properties in Fresh Meadows because of the game, not because I wanted to buy more properties in Queens. And so it actually got me to buy. And what's interesting about it, and that's just one project, is that they're using UpX in Discord in an effective game where you can actually use a currency from one game in a different game, and you can use that currency to help build up your properties in the game, which then transfer to the Upland property. So if I sell one of my farms in Uplandia in Upland, like the property that's associated with it in Upland, it actually carries the farm from Uplandia with it. And so that's just one game. Then I've seen, the ladies FIFA game where you're kind of using different NFTs that are in the game to kind of bring them into something other than just Upland. That's when you start to create the whole idea of Upland being a super app, being, driven by the community and so forth. As for the Genesis Week event, if you look at all the major games, they all have player-led engagement and conferences, and you need that. And I think that if you don't have that, you're not going to build. What's interesting, though, is going to see if they can actually create a multi-city event. So that's what's going to be needed is, have one in Rio, have one in Portugal or Germany or wherever, so that other people can get involved, because not everyone can make it to Vegas.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest that's the biggest con to the con, right? Is that it's a physical location and it's hard to get to. I know Upland this year tried to incorporate more in-game stuff so that everyone can participate, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's like I've had several DMs like, "What? You're not going?" I'm like, I can't take a week off work and to go on an international holiday by myself to go and play with friends for a game I play on my phone. That's just not realistic.
Right.
You're talking, if I went full micro budget, like the absolute minimum, it'd probably be at least $5,000, $8,000. So yeah, it's not something you just do on a whim. So
yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I should correct what I said before too. Yeah, that the winner of last year's hackathon was Grand Bridal, and that project has come about and been released. So it took nearly a full year of development. So that's an interesting thing to take into consideration as well. So, and that's sticking to the grind and seeing those things out. That's one of the biggest challenges for sure. Now, Caesar's asked in chat, do you guys think Genesis Week will bring value back to Spark And that goes back to the whole utility thing. Cheese and I dove into this very deeply, like on the Wine and Cheese show. Like, I don't know why, for the life of me, they don't include some kind of dividend UPEX boost for having a completed structure. That's all they would have to do. Is if you build a structure that gives you X amount dividends on top of your mint price dividends. If they did just that, it would inspire a whole bunch more building and construction and spark. The other major thing that we're hanging out for that would bring massive value back to Spark is third-party staking. If we can get third-party staking on our factories to manufacture these things, that would make a huge difference.
I can tell you, I've talked to some folks, and it's still on the radar, but it's not happening anytime soon, which was disappointing because obviously as UCC, we've been pushing for that. Yep. And that is not coming anytime soon.
Yeah. I mean, Cheese, maybe you want to speak to the question you raised at last week's Genesis Week, and we're hoping to see some announcement about that this week.
Well, it's funny because they've been coming out with a lot of really awesome stuff lately, right? And it's like, all right, so they talked about cafes, they talked about STEM, they talked about carts, they talked about this, they talked about that. And then you watch the shows, the firesides, and this and that, and X1 is saying there's really big surprises on the way, like huge. And it's like, what else can there be? I'm getting nervous because you look like you're going to talk while I'm talking. No, you good? All right. So I have a feeling there's going to be something extremely huge in regards to utility, because last year my question was something like, do you see buildings having utility in a game this year? And if not, can you confirm that they'll have utility next year? And Edan, even though he was annoyed at the question, he did answer it. He said, not this year, next year.
Yeah, and you were referring to utility in far as generating income, like for UPEX via the rental system or something like that. It wasn't like for
well, I made it vague. I made it extremely vague so that like it couldn't be shot down. I said, when will buildings on properties give utility?
Yes, and if you want to hear Cheese and I, if you didn't catch it on last week's Wine and Cheese show, we got into it deep. We were kind of back and forth, not quite raging at each other, but we did get into it. That what's the difference between feature creep and shiny new features? Genesis weeks that they can't just be all about this is the new shiniest shit that's coming. That there has to be some things actually getting followed up and finished. That was my kind of major point. Cheese.
No, I did rage at you in the beginning, though.
Oh, we got into it, but that's half the fun of the show. Is we wine, we cheese.
Yeah, but it wasn't for a wine. But I digress.
Yes. All right. Anybody else want to chime in with their very biased opinions? Does Genesis Week bring value? And I should say, what was it? Genesis Week and the hackathon. I would say.
Anyone else?
Can I just add
to
what you guys were saying about shiny objects and finishing things? That is another problem I do have. I'm a debater by nature, so I'll pick both sides and debate both sides. But one of the wines I guess I have is Genesis Week always brings new functionality, new features, new excitement, and then we lose track of key functions. I am still very disappointed that we don't have third-party rental for MetaVentures. I think that is huge. And if you say, okay, well, functionality for buildings, guess what? We have it. They released it. We have cafes coming. We have the in-games, the associated in-game stuff with like the real nodes and all that. And the MetaVentures, they're connected to properties and buildings in those properties, right? And so, yes, is there functionality for properties and for structures, for specific types of structures, and for properties that have those structures, but you can't get third parties to support them except to build it. That's it. And
that's a bunk argument, because you can't. Why have a micro house? You can't run a meta venture out of a micro house. And all of these new meta ventures, they come with their own unique structure. So that they can't rely on that argument because that's just that's a load of bullshit. So, the very easiest thing to do is have a new idea and put it out there. That's the easiest thing to do. The hard thing, as we've seen with Grombridle and winning last year's hackathon, the hard thing is actually putting the work in and seeing it through to fruition. So, yeah, we definitely, Rod, I don't want to flog a dead horse because we did, as I said, Cheese and I did go through this extensively. Yeah, it can't just be all about feature creep. That's you got to get some of these things finished off and squared away. So that's my.
I keep thinking it's the feature creep. Feature creep. It's feature creepy. Wow.
Yes.
And I do want to say I am excited about STEM. I am excited about the new features, and I'm excited about go-karts coming in. So I'm excited about the new shiny things. But yes, Spark, just such a critical part of the game. Let's do something with it.
Absolutely. All right, Jed, Rob, I think it was trying to chime in there too.
Yeah, it was more of a whine and not trying to be a little baby, but that racing is frustrating.
Yeah, I did a couple of races last night, and it would be a stretch to say that it's fun.
You're right. I like treasure hunting better, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I know
without the community aspect, like what Dak and the URL has got going on, without that kind of aspect at all, it's just, I don't know, it's woeful would be kind.
And can I make a suggestion to people who start races? You don't need to do a qualifier.
Please.
And please pay attention. If it fills up to 6, press start, please.
Yeah.
4. It can go up to 4. All you need is 4. You don't need more than 4.
Yeah, you can even put like AI in there. That's what I do.
No, don't do.
Why?
No.
They said you
Because
could.
you could, but it's actually better if you just wait for 4 real players versus using the AI, because if you set AI, what ends up happening? So this is my recommendation. Take it for what it's worth, right? I uncheck all the boxes and start. And the reason I do that is I don't want AI players, because if I can minimize the number of cars on the track, it helps improve my timing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you could start it with 4. So now I'm going to change that up. All right. Thank you, Dak. That's good.
Thank you.
I don't use AI. The other thing is I don't do qualifying laps because they don't do anything.
They're time wasters. Come on.
They're time wasters. Don't do it. So no qualifying laps, no AI, and no private, right? Because you want people to join. So uncheck everything. Wait for 4 players and go.
Yeah, no qualifiers and pay attention.
Yeah, I think people are just starting with several different cars and then going to watch Netflix or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know. Is anybody like absolutely enthralled sitting there with their phone or watching, cheering their car and come on, go, 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 even though it's all RNG?
What I don't get is if you have a really good car, why are you going to do your less great cars? Because if you score really high on your less great car and then score really high on your great car, they're not going to accept the second one. They're going to accept the first one.
Yeah, you only get
so
one
it's
shot.
like you have to, I don't know, strategize a little bit. What do you think about that, Dak?
I thought that you had different tiered qualifiers and you had different prices for different tiers. So I was racing in class 2 and I was racing in class 4.
Somebody asked Lizette though. They said, "Can you have in all of them?" And she said, "No, only one."
You get out of class 4, Dak. You get out of class 4 now, buddy.
What?
Well,
I was just telling him to stay out of class 4.
Oh,
subterfuge. Love it.
I'm already qualified in class 2 for now. We'll see if I keep that up. But I thought that, now that I know that, sorry agency or who was it, I'm going straight up class 2.
What Chesa said is right. You could be the leader in every single one, but you're only going to win one of the prizes basically.
And I think it's the first one that you qualified.
Awesome has said in chat, I think they messed up cars, so releasing go-karts to fix it and provide functionality. Ooh, maybe. don't know. Well, we do know that carts is, at least for the manufacturing side of things, I think that's the precursor to test all of that system out before that goes live. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting because they have no transportation or passenger functionality. I think you guys have said that before.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun just for fun racing.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice what Michael said. You can do only 20 races for the points. So after 20 races, it doesn't count anymore, right?
No.
All right, that's good. That way I get the rest of my day back.
20 races. My gosh, you're committed if you're going to sit there for 20 races.
I think I did way more than 20 yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it all day yesterday.
I
It
know.
was frustrating.
So that's good information.
Thank you, Michael.
Yes.
Good luck, Dak, and everybody on the racing.
Yeah, I don't have the patience for that. Holy hell. 20.
And Ben, I just want to say thank you for acknowledging, because I had been talking about the difference between just racing in Upland versus community racing.
Yeah.
And what you just said is exactly why I wanted URL and community racing, because the functionality itself is not exciting.
No, it's not. All right, now we're talking about points and leaders, so I might as well bring that up while we're on topic. So we've got here, this is the Genesis Challenge 2023. Now, I believe this is the leaderboard that's going to win the, is this, I'm so confused with this. Somebody get me up to speed. Is this leaderboard doesn't win you that Genesis bloody stem, looks like a giraffe, llama, gold thing, does it? This is just to get points in the raffle for that thing, plus all of the other associated prizes.
Yeah, the badge.
Yeah, a badge. So what do we got? We got Marmas leading on 6,930 points, and old mate Brabant Swiss right up there. And Nub, look at that. Nub's up there. Dula. A few names there. Oh, D-Tech.
Yeah,
Death
D-Tech.
Ender, number 10.
Yeah.
How's it already Wednesday?
Hey, Jazzy.
Hey, but how's it already Wednesday?
Well, it's Wednesday here. It's 5:42 a.m. Wednesday, mate.
Yeah, but their times are always PT times, right?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know. Maybe it goes to your local time or something. I don't know. Somebody else pull that up. Pull it up. Maybe it says Tuesday for you. I don't know.
Yeah, I pulled it up and it says the same thing that that you're showing right now. So it's definitely still Tuesday here for me.
Interesting. Look at the points that Marmas has got. Was 1,000 points. He's pulled nearly 6,000 points on Wednesday in the future.
Peaky.
Interesting. Oh, is that the candle chase?
Oh, you weren't supposed to say.
Oh. All right, so that's something that's kicking off. Oh, this was cool to see too. We had another round of cross-city collections. I just went and triggered those. I didn't even look at the sizes or whatever. I was just like, yeah, that fits. Click, click, click. Get my massive 800 UPEX. Don't forget to do those. It's pretty easy to do. Just bring up the collections card, and it's the first few cards there. So make sure you go and do that. And oh yeah,
I think there's a typo in there though.
Well, it wouldn't be an Upland announcement or information if there wasn't a typo.
I'm gonna be mean. Did you see? Was it called the Fireside yesterday with X1 and more?
Oh, that one.
No. What was that called?
Kickoff, I believe. The kickoff. Show.
Did you see how many times Mort messed up in his presentation? I almost wonder if he's the intern.
Oh. Well, the people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. How many times do we mess up in our shows?
Wow! Wow!
That's kind of half the fun of our show is we mess up completely.
You always have my back, Ben. I love that about you.
I have a question because I ran into this and I'm not sure if anyone else did. I tried to do the South American cities collection.
Yeah.
I selected one from Sao Paulo, one from Rio. It seems like you need to have all three cities to be able, like if you don't have Buenos Aires, you can't get that collection. In other words, it has to be 3 different cities.
Yes.
In South America.
Yep. It's the
yeah,
same.
That's the
Okay,
typo that I was talking about.
Yeah, same for the European one, I believe.
All right, because I couldn't get it done. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Now I gotta go buy properties in Buenos Aires.
Yes, that's what it's trying to do. See, it's trying to add values, trying to stimulate the economy. Stimulate. All right, there's a few other bits and pieces that have popped up. We don't have a lot of time, so we won't touch on it in too much detail. Wearables Wizard and Terraformer sale. These are big value items. Terraformers, is anybody still going into these? I mean,
I sourced it when I was racing. I saw a couple of people with them as their block explorer. They were racing.
It's another one of those things where terraformers have been a thing that have been spooked about, sold for several years now, with a whole bunch of promised associated utility, but yet there's crickets. If I was somebody that bought one of the original terraformers that are supposed to be do with mining and all that sort of stuff, I'd be asking a lot of questions. So I don't know, it's a weird one. Wearables, 300 of those. Yeah, I don't know. Has this already finished, has it? Sale details? Yeah, it's already over. Sale starts Monday. Did anybody pick them up? Cheese, you said you saw a few people. Did you get a wizard?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Couldn't pass up on that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did those go fast? Because I had a good place in line, so I didn't see how long it lasted without signing out. Doing that way. Did it last all day, or did they sell pretty fast?
They must have, because I don't remember seeing it when I got up in the morning. So that's at Mofo AM Monday my time. Yesterday.
They went pretty fast. I think I got one after about 40 minutes and they were nearly gone at that point.
I got up, well, that's 9 a.m. PT. I believe that's 3 a.m. my time. I got up at 5:30, and I certainly didn't see it in the store thing, so maybe they did. Well, if you got one, congrats. All right, what else have we got here? Treasure hunts. Anybody going crazy in treasure hunts? I've completely given up on treasure hunts.
I'm really bad. I like my standards because I could take my time. When you have to you look at all these people doing 20 something, and I'm just happy with my 14.
Yes. Now, this is an interesting change they've added. The city location of each treasure spawn has been designed to be far away from the previous location to prevent players from chasing all of the treasures. Interesting. Because there was a few skilled people who would gobble up the treasure in one city and then get straight on the bus or whatever and go to the next one, and they just jump around and clean up. So I guess that's a good change. All right, and what else have we got? We covered that. Live streaming schedule. Yeah, Shaq mentioned this at the start of the show, the amount of stuff they've got going on. We had the Genesis kickoff show, which Cheese mentioned. Fireside chat was this morning. We were talking about that before we got kicked off here. It was entertaining reading the chat for that, so I'll listen to that on the back end at 2x speed. We got the Upland Auction House Edition. Cheese and I talked about that. I don't really go for that. Anybody submit anything for that?
No, not me.
Yeah, we just discussed how we balked at the no reserve price thing. And then, of course, we have Genesis Week officially kicking off and everything that's got going on there. So that's what's happening live. And then, of course, we've got the in-game schedule events. And now this is the one that's just crazy. This is full-time job stuff. Monday packed, Tuesday packed. Yeah, there's no end of stuff to do, which is kind of cool. But as Dak said, it would be cool if there was events in more cities besides just Las Vegas. Some more official things. Oh, I mean, we do have the Germany. That's a thing as well. So don't know. See how we go. What else is happening in chats? You got to be fast with this hunt, because once you found treasure, you're getting BE 3 treasure, 3 BEs. Yeah, you got to be fast if you want a treasure hunt. There's some very, very skillful people out there. All right, we're at the back end of the show. Let's give away some stuff. Now, oh, Jazz, look at that. You've sent me through the stuff. Pardon me. Thank you for that, Jazz. How was your trip? If you're there.
Yeah, trip's all right. The weather's really good.
You're always on holidays, living the dream, mate.
Well, it's because in the UK you get tons of holidays.
Oh, there you go.
Probably the same as Australia, isn't it?
We get a lot of public holidays. Yeah, but they're all bunched up. You get several long weekends in a row, which is nice, but then you get none for the rest of the year. All right, so we have Morecheese, Awesome, Caesar, Dak, Eric, Finn, Kinda, Laban, Maui, M. Collar, Rob, Shack, TB, Jedi, and Jazz. Anybody's name in the chat who's not there? Going once, going twice.
Oh, you can take my name out. I don't need to be in there. Yeah, give these people a chance.
All right, let's see if the other wheel will work for me this week. Who's going to win some shizzle? Oh, you just missed it, Jazz. Awesome's won another. Congrats. Now, let's see. Hopefully this one's loaded. No. Oh, yes, it has. Let's see what Awesome's going to win. What map asset are you going to get? Oh, you just missed the ice bath.
Woohoo!
You've grabbed another Halloween sign.
You know, I bet. Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say, I bet like those Halloween signs would go for a lot of money on second market because they're not being sold.
I haven't even looked, actually. I guess you could go and have a look at, is it ablend.com? One of those ones. I think you can check out all the prices. That would be interesting to find out, actually. Yeah.
I want one so bad. Halloween's my favorite.
Yeah, they look awesome.
I just put that in there. It was like, I want one.
Nice. So that's for Awesome. Thank you very much for that. I'll contact you via DM and we'll arrange to get that to you. I think I put a whole bunch more of those in the Summer Aquatics and Decor factory to be minted, trying to get those all done at least before Halloween. Obviously, the closer we get to Halloween, we'll start giving away swathes and swathes of them. Hopefully by then we have like I said, a transportation system in place, which is a bit of a flip from what I've been said previously, as I outlined, because it is a pain in the ass to move those little tiny Halloween signs. It's not fun. So we'll see how we go. All right, that's all I've got. Everybody who is heading to Genesis Week, have fun, be safe. Don't get too crazy on the first night and blow yourself out and ruin your next day.
Come check out the cheese booth.
That's right.
Well, it's the MBE booth.
There better be cheese.
There'll be some cheese. It won't be how you expect it, but there will be some sort of cheese item there.
That's
right.
right.
I thought he was going to be all cheesy and be like, you got your cheese, get out.
And don't forget, Cheese hinted when she did jump in that she's got some kind of cheese-themed game. I believe Goldie in chat speculated that it might be something to do with cheese boards. Who knows?
No.
Who knows?
Doesn't.
No. Cheese fondue, Jedi reckons?
No.
Public cheese fondue. My gosh, you'd have to be brave to get into that, wouldn't you? Buffet style public open cheese fondue.
Trivia. Cheese trivia.
No.
Name that Gorgonzola.
Yes. Well, that's interesting. Caesar said in chat that nobody has a Halloween sign up for sale. So there is no market established at all. So if you've got one, maybe you want to set
because everybody wants to use them.
Yes. All right. Yeah. What are we in? June. So we still got a few months yet. Probably when we get to August, maybe we'll start giving away way more of those and
give it away now.
Get them out to the folks. And we'd love to submit some new Halloween stuff, but as I said, it's all well and good for Upland to spruik that they're approving 400 Metaventures in a week, but we still have dozens upon dozens of items that have been submitted for approval that we've got no idea at what level of status they're at as far as coming through. No idea whatsoever. So,
and I really think they need to create some sort of storage, because you don't want to have your freaking Christmas trees out during summer, right? And you don't want to have them somewhere like cramped up. That's real estate you're missing out on. So have a structure that you can build where you can store your crap that isn't in the season anymore. I mean,
a warehouse.
Yeah, a warehouse.
Oh, I wonder if you could do a Metaventure for, those little, is that what you're talking about? Morecheese, the little barns that you put in the back of the backyard?
Yeah.
And wasn't it? It was you too, Cheese. didn't you speculate that maybe like with that whole crate system, maybe that's where we'd see decor heading towards as well? I thought that. Yeah. I have to wait and see.
We'll see.
All right. Anything you want to say, Cheese, before you hit the road, or Shaq or anybody else chime in?
I want coffee.
Want coffee?
I want fondue.
Fondue now.
Yeah.
Well,
Now I won't.
6 a.m. here. 6 a.m. fondue would be hardcore.
Hey, where are we meeting up on Thursday?
Oh, in front of the Omega Mart. Did you buy tickets?
No.
Oh, I put it on my Twitter for people to buy tickets for that time.
I'll
For
go
12
check.
p.m. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh,
It's
that's
like a-
why. Never mind. I won't be there.
All right. It's for those of you, if there's tickets left, if you want to come join us. I have my ticket. Some other people have their tickets. It's gonna be a nice, fun group. Omega Mart is a fun art installation in the shape of a supermarket. So you go in there, you could like look through different compartments. You could go into the ice, like if you open up the drink thing it takes you into a secret passageway to go into another art installation. It just sounds so cool. I want to go.
Cool. All right. And of course, good luck to everybody who is nominated for some of the big prizes, especially shout out to Masida, Elisha Judah, and the one and only Shackton as well. All very deserved potential winners there. So best of luck to everybody. And yeah, extremely jealous. Behave yourselves. Don't get too crazy, but have some fun. And on that note, Cheese, get us out of here.
Stay fresh, cheese bag.
Are you looking for some of that quality outdoor decor? But you got no freaking idea where to go? Oh, come on over to Samurai Aquatics and Decor for all your outdoor decor needs. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do you? Yeah, just delete that. I'm still not ready, sorry. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do you? Or maybe some kind of crappy ramshackle building that, I don't know, needs a bit of extra spunk to it or something. And stop mucking about and get yourself over to Samurai Aquatics Discord to see all our available stock. We've got loads of different decor to spend your pretend money on. We've got saunas to fire you up and ice baths to chew you the fudge out. Literally stock coming out of our ears. Grills, swings, seating and more. So much more. And if we don't got it, give us a buzz and we could probably make it. Get yourself on over to Samurai Aquatics at 30 Aqua Vista Way in Midtown Terrace, San Francisco, lickety split, and gorge yourself on outdoor decor.